Hello. Hey, this is Christy Cater, and I am here with a really powerful coaching tip for you called Build Your Fence. So in our lives, we have our whole entire world, what we think, what we listen to, what we eat, what we like or don't like, what we drive, where we work or don't work, every single thing, all your experiences. Everything up to this point, everything in your world, friends, family, what you do with your time, your thoughts, your energy, everything, right? And then there's this fence around it. And I want you to just kind of close your eyes and think about, what does my house, my world, my fence, everything in that space, what does it feel like? Does it feel good? Does it feel overwhelming? Does it feel like the money pit? Does it feel like it just you work over here and then this needs work and then this needs work and this? And does it feel like you just fine, I'll just sleep on that old couch over there and just wait for a big rainstorm to come and just sweep it all away? Or do you feel excited about your house and your fence? Do you feel like you look around and you're like, I like that fence, it's good, I see my neighbors, my friends and family over there, my kiddos, my mom and dad, or whoever it is that surrounds you in your world, and all those fences that are locked together in your neighborhood? Do you look around your fence and you're like, okay, I feel good. I like the foods that I let in. I like the thoughts that I let in. I like the people. I like my job and where I spend my time and energy. So it's everything in your world. Again, do you look around and how do you feel about your fence and your world? So most of us could say, probably there are some things about my fence and my world that I would maybe change or work on. And for some people, it's like, oh my gosh, total makeover, please, remodel. So what does it look like to start with one little part of your world and open up the possibility that you can change your fence? For example, maybe you have somebody in your world that calls you and they're just toxic energy, and you get off the phone with them or you get done talking with them and you're just like, oh my gosh. So that's them and their energy just completely all over your yard, just painting it the colors they want. Maybe they're ramming through your fence. Maybe they go in your living room and they're just messing it all up, and you're just like, I can't. They steal my energy. I even want out of my own world. I have to step away. What would it look like to create space or boundaries between you and that person, knowing that you have your fence and they have theirs, and you take their stuff and you hand it back to them, and you create boundaries between you and them and say, hey, you know what? I'm in my fence. I cannot show up for you in that way. I empathize with you. I support you in whatever makes you happy, but I cannot take on the energy of the negativity that fills my soul in my fence. And making space for you, knowing that you could feel misunderstood, they could be upset. There's a lot of feelings that are involved in that, and that's a way that we kind of create sabotage, especially if you're a people pleaser like I am. It's very difficult to create boundaries sometimes with people we love because we don't want to hurt them. But at the same time, creating those boundaries empowers both you and them. They get to have their own journey, and you get to invite them in your fence if you want, and you get to be invited into their fence if they want. What does it look like for your world and your fence and food? For example, maybe you have some stuff in your world that you let in your fence that you wished you wouldn't, that doesn't make you feel good. There's no such thing as good foods and bad foods. It's just, how does that food make you feel? The diet industry doesn't want you to know this, but there's only 3 factors that revolve around every single diet. You ready? Here it goes. The amount of food you eat, the type of food you eat, and the time that you eat. That's it. So what does Weight Watchers, Slim Fast, Atkins, Whole30, any other vegan, vegetarian, any other fasting, what do those have to do with each other? It's all those three factors. So who's to say, as we let in everything else into our fence, thinking that we should put on somebody else's house or somebody else's fence, who's to say you can't design your own house and your own fence and make it exactly what works for you? Again, setting that up for yourself is so powerful. Creating those boundaries and saying like, whoa, 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 that may work for you and that's so great. But what works for me is this. And truly being in tune with your body and realizing, okay, maybe I don't feel so good after I eat 4 cartons of ice cream and 2 pizzas. You know, it didn't bother me when I was maybe 16, 17, 18, but now that I'm 30, 40, 50, 60, I definitely feel sick to my stomach when I do that to myself. You're more aware, you're more wise, you have more control over your world, and taking back that control right now is you building your fence. Let's say there's something wrong with your chimney in your world or your kitchen sink, and it's like a hot mess, it's all over the place, and you go and buy a new plant for the front porch, and you're like, man, that plant is so great. It looks amazing, it's beautiful, and you look over and the faucet is still leaking and the sink is still a mess and it's everywhere and it's going all over the place, and you try and look back at the plant. It's like, man, that is so beautiful and it looks great. And you look back at the kitchen sink and you're like, oh, that's still over there. And it's like we do sometimes with food within our lives. There may be some things going on over here and we use ice cream, pizza, wine, whatever, chips to try and fix the thing that's really going on over here, whether that's maybe something we want or desire, or maybe someone else that's just trampling all over our fence in our house. And instead we go over and eat food to try and control or numb out that feeling. Ever felt that way? I know I totally have, absolutely 1,000%. And until I figured out how to truly build my fence in my world in a way that I could still thrive in my neighborhood with any situation, with any hurricane, any tornado, any drama, any thoughts, anything, any foods, any restaurants, anything that plows through, any new highways around me, what do I do to maintain my fence in my world has been the most impactful thing I could have done for myself. So I challenge you. What will it look like today to start building your fence? Where can you take just one little thing, one baby step, stick a fence post in the ground, make it exactly as you want it. The colors, the textures, the design, everything is all up to you. You can do it.